Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It's the Stitchy Witch here. My name is Carla and I'm really excited today to actually have some time to sit down and do some stitching. And this project that I'm working on is called The Tree of Life, and the artist is Jen Delyth or Delyth. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. And I've been working on this one for roughly about a year, but it hasn't been my main stitch project or my main focus. I've been working on a few HAIDs on rotation, and I am currently at about 18% on this one, which I'm really pleased with. And so it's coming close to Christmas and I'm really excited because I haven't actually been able to sit down and do any stitching with you guys for a while because I've had so much on the go and I've so much to tell you and I've lots of things to say that are all new. So it's going to be an interesting video. So I'm going to start stitching and I'm going to chat to you as I stitch, which is what I tend to do in my Stitch with Me's. And I have prepared this earlier today, but it's got a little bit, I got a little bit lost on my pattern keeper and now I've found my place. I just want to get back to the section that I'm actually working in. So I am going to do, the thing with this beautiful pattern is you can see it's got all these lovely sort of loopy areas. I love the way the black intertwines with all these other yellows and greens. It really is a pretty pattern. And I fell in love with it the minute I saw it. So I really enjoy when I get to do the less confetti heavy part, which is this area going down to here. That is really heavy confetti. I think you can tell just by looking at the different greens that are in there. So it's nice sometimes to have a break between the heavy confetti area and this lovely area that isn't quite so bad in between. So yeah, I think it's coming out well, and although sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle with my part threads, I tend to try and keep them as neat as possible. I keep them out of the way. I only have the part threads sort of hanging around that I'm actually working with. The others I usually kind of clip to one side. So it's working okay at the moment. So I'm going to begin stitching the black, I think, because that will be the easiest for me whilst I do a little bit of chatting. So I don't really know where to begin now. There is so much that I have been up to in the last few days. Gosh, it really feels like I haven't done a Stitch with Me for about a month, but it's only actually been about 10 days. But it feels so much longer than that because I've been so busy. And it just seems like everything, it's coming up towards Christmas, so you have that to think about. And then there's other stuff going on in my life too, to do with selling a property and hopefully looking for another property. And I think anyone who's done that will agree with me that it's probably one of the most stressful things. And it's also really tiring, mentally exhausting, if not physically exhausting, because it's more mentally exhausting, I think, because you're busy trying to work out finances and this and that and the other. So that can be really tiring. And in between all that, we've had the school and my son, who's been quite happy in his high school. He had to have his COVID jab, and then there was, trying to help him get, not that he was afraid of it, he was quite happy to have a COVID jab, but he was a little bit anxious, and so we had to support him with that. So it just feels like everything's happening this year, and the COVID thing isn't actually helping because it's just adding stresses to trying to get things done. For instance, like my husband and I, we had to go and sign some paperwork because we were selling a property, and we had to go and find out what the protocol is with the COVID. So we couldn't go into an office. We had to take our masks. We had to literally had to sign these papers on the doorstep of the office. It was a bit ridiculous. At least I thought it was a bit ridiculous, because not only did we reach this particular office that was on the ground floor of this building, we were standing in the street. It was like -1 degrees centigrade. Sorry, I do not know what that is in Fahrenheit. But let me tell you, -1 centigrade is pretty cold, Celsius. And we just stood there shaking and shivering. And then suddenly the guy comes out with the papers, brings out a little stamp, signs them, asks us to sign them on this little table. And I honestly thought, I think we're being pranked, but we weren't. This is the official thing. But it did feel like we were being pranked. And I said to my husband, it's so cold. I just wish I could have gone and sat in somewhere, been offered a cup of tea before I signed paper, a little bit of courtesy. But no, because of the COVID thing, everybody's being treated like a potential alien that could be carrying this disease. And people will try to get as far away from you as possible. So there was that. And then that was stressful. And then, goodness me, it's just, then it's like, then there's a waiting game and waiting to see what happens and being fed different bits of information. And of course, then it's been coming up to the end of the term, and my son is now off school now until, well, for most of the Christmas. Then he will be back in school in January. And so we were all sort of thinking, well, this will be a bit of a relief. We'll have a nice, quiet family Christmas at home. No planning any parties or any of that sort of thing. Just a nice, relaxing Christmas, because goodness knows how busy we're going to be in January after the whole thing is over. And it might be nice just to have a bit of a downtime before, everything gets stirred up again with regards to properties. Things have slowed down a little bit now. And so I was really looking forward to that on, I think it was Tuesday. He finished school on Friday. So by the time Thursday night came around, I was starting to feel, kind of relaxed and happy about the whole, the next couple of weeks coming along and being able to relax with my family. And I was also supposed to go and have my COVID booster today. And that didn't happen. And not because I didn't want to go, but I'll tell you what happened. I started to feel, my son started to feel really ill on Thursday. This is actually the week before last week. So it's been a whole week since then. So the week before this one, on the Thursday, my son started to feel ill, and I said, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. He started coming down with the shakes, and I thought, oh, goodness me. Don't tell me this is what we really hope it's not. And on the Friday and Saturday, he wasn't really feeling well. Not desperately bad, just, like the onset of a cold kind of thing. So we were trying to help him with that. And I was feeling fine. And I was actually really pleased that I wasn't catching this thing. I was thinking, yay, my antibodies must be great. Anyway, so much for thinking that. But roll on, what was it? Sunday night, I started getting tickle in my throat and some of these, sneezing. I started sneezing. And I said, oh no, please. Oh no, don't let me have caught this thing. Anyway, because we wanted to just check that what he had brought home from school, the very last day of school, wasn't COVID, we gave him a test. And thankfully, his test was negative. So because of the nature of the way he came home with it, and then myself and my husband started sneezing, we thought, well, we can only have picked up what he's given us. Because he is negative, we should be, it seems likely that we have whatever he's got. We haven't really mixed with other people unless it was the doorstep shenanigan when we were signing papers, which I very much doubt. But yeah, so we we ended up having a cold. And who got worst hit by the cold? Well, me, of course, because my husband got a few sniffles, just a few sniffles, but I ended up in bed. Not feverish, but I did feel hot. My temperature wasn't high, but I just felt hot. And I just was tired. I did not feel right. I just wanted to sleep. And I was sneezing and constantly blowing my nose. I think I must have drowned in tissues. And I felt so sorry for myself. I really did. And that's lasted me a whole 5 days, 6 days. Yesterday, I felt the best. Today, I feel tired, more tired, because I didn't sleep well last night. And yeah, it's just, it's the way things land on you when you don't want them to. Is just awful. And I thought, well, at least there's that thing that I didn't get sick on the Christmas week, because that would have been really miserable. Like, nobody wants to be sick on the week that they're supposed to be, celebrating Christmas. So if I've gone and done and got it over with now, then that's good, because I don't want to have a cold. And I never got a cough, and I never had a fever, and I never had any of those kind of symptoms. It was just like a cold. But it's bothersome enough that you don't feel like stitching and you don't feel like doing anything else. And I still have a little bit of a sniffle, but it's not too bad. I can live with it, and I can stitch with it, which is the main thing. So when it really affects my stitching, I think I've been marking off a couple of extra rows here. Let me just check for a second. So I'm going by this brown here, trying to figure out. I'm at the very top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at the top of those 4, marked off more than I've actually done, which is typical for me. So that's okay. I'll need to get another black thread in a second. So yeah, so that's the other thing that happened this week. So unfortunately, there was no escaping the lurgy, which, kids have a way of happily spreading their germs to you. When they get home from school, they'll come up to you, blow in your face, cough in your face, sneeze in your face, and they're not sorry about it. They're just not. But I'm just glad that if that's what we're going to get over the Christmas period, that's it. It's done with now, hopefully. So things should look up for next week. Fingers crossed. Because I really could do with having a week of no dramas. So yeah, so my booster got cancelled because I didn't think I was going to make it in the state I was in. And the last thing I wanted, like, even if it's safe to have a vaccination with a cold, I did not want to risk having symptoms on top of symptoms. And because I feel under the weather, and have been feeling under the weather, and I'm still kind of blowing my nose, because I have been a bit under the weather, I don't want to completely knock myself out sideways with the vaccination. And I'm not planning to go anywhere for the next few weeks, so next couple of weeks. So I have delayed my jab for a couple of weeks until the new year, and then I'll go and have that. But I just could not face going down and risking getting those symptoms on top of what I'm already feeling like. I think it would have just knocked me over. Even just worrying about it probably would have given me a hard day. So yeah, I'm happy to just delay that for a few days. So that's where we're at. Right, just trying to find my place again, and I'm running out of black. So I'm going to have to go and get some more. This thread in a second. So that's how things panned out this week. Isn't that just amazing, the way things happen? I always find that when I have something that I have to look forward to, like a date or an event or something that's in my diary, something always messes it up, whether it's a sickness or an illness or something. And it's really quite frustrating. Oh, so I'm just going to prepare some more thread here. And what I do is I'm just going to cut this thread. I've been cutting these threads off down the bottom quite a bit, actually. I think that works the best for me. No more faffing around with where to cut the threads. I just give it a bit of space down the bottom and then I just cut them. Not had a problem at all with stitches coming out or anything like that. Just a stress-free stitch is the best. So that's on the physical health side. That's what's been going on. So what else has been happening? I've decided to do the WIPGO. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort of game, or it's kind of like a game, like a bingo. It's called like a bingo sort of game, where you create a board and you put all your whips in this board, and two numbers get drawn at the end of the month, and you do whatever goals you've set on your WIPGO board. And there's loads of videos on that. There's a Facebook group for that if you want to check that out. And so I decided I'm going to do that. In my Discord community, we've created a WIPGO room. So if anybody wants to check in there and show their progress, they can do that. So we have a WIPGO room starting in my Discord for 2022. It's already up and running. So all we've done so far is just post our boards. And I've got a very ambitious board, which I'm not sure is going to be. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to make those goals that I've put on my board, but I've put them there anyway because I'm ambitious. And if it doesn't work out, well, it doesn't work out, but I've put them down because I know I'm going to go house hunting at some point in the new year. And but hey, I'm just not going to, because I can't officially say when I'm going to be doing X, Y, or Z. I've just put down my goals, and if I find that, maybe March or something comes along and I've just been crazily busy, I might just reduce my goal to something a bit more attainable if the whole month just seems to go all up in the air and everything's gone crazy. So yeah, I think under those circumstances, when you're doing big life events like moving house and that kind of thing, I think you can allow for some readjustments. That kind of makes sense to me. And apart from that, yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to doing the WIPGO thing. I was really thinking I'm not going to do it initially, and I was kind of backing out from it. But, a few of us on my Discord channel are doing it anyway. So I thought, well, I like to feel like I'm part of the team. I mean, it is my channel at the end of the day. So I like to feel like I'm part of the group and part of the team. And, I do want to like cheer others along. So I'm just going to give it a bash as well and see how it turns out. And I've mostly put in my heids, and I haven't put in any new starts because I don't want to be tempted with a new start until I'm a bit more settled next year. And I do want to get progress on what I've got. So the only way I'm going to get progress on what I have is by continuously creating goals, working on these projects, rather than just creating new ones. Although I do have a new one in the pipeline, and it's a Mirabilia. But I haven't got to the point where I can start that one. But I will definitely come and show you all my little knickknacks and accessories and the fabric I've chosen and everything once I get to start that one. It's going to be pretty exciting. So what else can I tell you? Apart from WIPGO, I have been checking out quite a few Flosstubers. That's one of the other things I love to do. It actually slows down my stitching a little bit because I get enthralled watching other stitchers. And my goodness, we are getting so many new ones coming along, and there are so many inspiring Flosstubers out there. I like to think I'm inspiring, but I don't want to take credit myself really. When I'm watching other Flosstubers, I'm admiring what they offer, and I'm following them along with their projects, and I'm enjoying what they have to say, and supporting them where I can. So some of these Flosstubers are also on my Discord and posting up announcements of their videos, because we all have to help each other, right? And I think that's a nice way. That's what I like about this community, that we all help each other. So rambling on as I do, I'm just going to mention, I'm going to do a couple of shout outs of the ones that have been watching this week and I've actually been enjoying. I don't want to say too many of them. I'm going to throw in a couple so you can go and check them out, because the only way to, sometimes there's so many Flosstubers out there, sometimes a few of them get lost within, the searches, and they get missed or don't get seen, because we are quite spoilt for choice today. So I have discovered a Flosstuber, and he's relatively new, I believe. And his channel is called Zat Stitches, Z-A-T Stitches. And his name is Ryan. He's a teenager. And I also have a teenager, so I can really relate to Ryan. And he's funny. He's got a lovely character, a great sense of humor, and I think you should go and check him out. He has Flosstubed with his mum, and she is called, let me see now, she is called DAYDREAM Stitcher, and they have done some Flosstubes together, and I think he's just started his own channel now. So if you get a chance, go and check out Ryan. He is a real character and you'll love him. And he's currently stitching a chicken, I believe. Well, not actually stitching a chicken, he's stitching a pattern of a chicken. And so I'm sure that he really would appreciate your support, or a little like or a comment or whatever you can do. I'm sure he'd support that. All the links of these Flosstubers that I'm mentioning are down in the description below, so you can just check them out there. The other one I've been watching quite a bit this week is ALIJUUNO'S Crafty Corner. ALIJUUNO is in my Discord group. I think she also has her own Discord channel, and she's doing some really cool projects at the moment. She's also doing a HAID called Dreaming of Being Human, and I think we started that one roughly the same time. That was an interesting one because I started mine on the right side of the top right side of the fabric, and she started the same pattern on the top left side of the fabric. So it's going to be quite fun because we'll meet somewhere in the middle, when she gets to the middle and I get to the middle. I don't know when that will be, but it's going to be fun. And she Flosstubes, and she does some live streams, and she's got ferrets, I believe, or her daughter has ferrets. And she's also got a cute little cat called Simon who comes into view every so often. He likes a bit of attention. So yeah, go check out ALIJUUNO'S Flosstube. Again, the link is below. Another young lady that I have been watching every so often is KAYLEE Cross Stitch, and KAYLEE is lovely. She is she is so open and so honest when she talks to you on the camera. And from the few videos that I've watched of hers, she's a teacher, so she's kind of got that, that appeal to, and you kind of feel like she's your friend as well. You get this kind of warmth from her, Anyway, and she sings in her floss tubes, and she's just very, very sort of natural, very, very natural. There's no pretentiousness or anything there, and I really like that. I appreciate that. And she's doing some lovely patterns as well. So you can check out KAYLEE Cross Stitch. She also does some lives as well, I believe. So those are the Flosstubers that I have checked out this week, and probably is a few others too. But it's just so great, isn't it? So great to go and be able to watch other Flosstubers and follow what they're doing, you know, get the advice that they're giving. They're always saying, so many of them give such good tips now. It's really great to get that extra tip and support. Right, where am I going? I'm getting lost again. Okay, I think I have to park here with this black one. And in no time at all, I've come down and done this little bendy leg. I don't know what you call these things. I think we could just make up names for them. Bendy, little twisty, spirally, curly-Q. I don't know what it is, but there it is. I'm doing one of them. Octopus leg? I don't know. That's the fairly simple part. What gets tricky is the bits around it. The bits around it are really quite fiddly and twiddly is what I would call it. But I totally love this chart. I'm going to do a couple of stitches here with this brown now, because I feel like that's where I should be. There isn't much of that at the moment, but 4 stitches maybe, 3. But it's a bit silly to do a row by row when you just need to go all the way down with this brown. So I'm just kind of framing this black bit. So I find these colours really striking, and they're really, really pretty. So I don't think I have actually got any other news, but you know what will happen? I'll finish recording this video, and then once I've edited and everything, and I've uploaded this video, I will remember a ton of stuff that I wanted to say, hadn't said. And I did write some of this down, but typically that's what happens. You just suddenly think, oh, I wanted to say this, or I wanted to say that. And you just remember much later. Oops, I have to go upwards now here, and that's not easy. I want to put my hand in the way because that's just distracting. But I kind of need to see where I'm going with these stitches. Park that one down here. So what have you been up to in the last while? I'm hoping I can come back and do another video next week. I don't know if I'll be able to do a live. If I am able to do a live, it might be a really spontaneous one. Like I'll be able to announce it like an hour before I go live. I won't be able to schedule it. So if that is the case, any point next week before Christmas that I'm able to do that, I will definitely let you know at least an hour before. But hey, you know, I love it if you're watching or you're sitting there scrolling and you can pop in and say hello. If not, it's fine. But I can't at this point, with it being a week before Christmas. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to be going hunting for a turkey, and I've still got some stuff to do around the house. So there's still like stuff to do. I've got to wrap up a few presents. So it's really difficult for me to say, hey, I'm going to do a live at such a day now, because anything can happen. So I'm going to be as spontaneous for the moment, because I don't think it's going to be easy to do it any other way. 1, 2, 3. But, you know, it's still nice to come on and do a little bit of stitching with you whenever I can. And failing that, I will try and do another stitch with me and share a few minutes working on my piece. So I think I've done a good little bit in this section. For some reason I already have. Okay, I think that gets parked there. It's amazing with this pattern. The thing with this pattern is that you only have to do like a little bit and it looks like you've done loads. That's the beauty of this one. It really is gorgeous. I don't know if I can zoom out just a tiny bit and you can see the top of this pattern as well. And it just looks so good. It looks so good. Yeah, it's such an intricate piece. There is so much going on in this piece. It's so difficult to describe it because it's so busy and it's so intricate, and it kind of looks like a car crash in a way, but the more I stare at it, the more I take from it, the more things I see, the more things I imagine, the more bits I haven't seen before. Every time I look at it, I see something new. Because I'm not really looking at the picture when I'm stitching. I'm just looking at what I'm actually stitching. So it's not until later, like now, if I start looking at it, I start to see. Like I didn't realize I had done like a little ball here. I don't actually see that in the picture really. So I don't know how. I didn't know that was going to come out like that. I think it's going to be gorgeous when it's all completely finished. Obviously, I've only just done a quarter of this pattern, not quite a quarter. But I think it's going to be really impressive. And I've no idea what kind of frame to frame this with, but I think even just like a black frame is all it needs, because the pattern itself is so colourful and so busy. I don't think it needs a busy frame. A busy frame would just distract or just add to the busyness of the chart. So I think a really plain black frame would just suffice, because you've got everything going on in this piece. You want your eyes all on this piece and not on a frame. And I'm not a professional framer, but that's just kind of my opinion. So whatever you think, let me know. If you've done this pattern, let me know what you think. I'm always interested to hear what you think about it. And yes, I'm going to stop there for the moment because I need to go and get a hot drink again. My throat's being a little bit funny again. This cold is kind of the on and off thing. But I feel so much better. I feel so much better now, and I feel like I'm actually a human again. Once I'm able to get up out of bed and stay upright, then I know that I'm getting better rather than worse, thank goodness. So I feel much better. But I do need a hot drink because my throat's a little bit raspy. And yeah, so I've really enjoyed stitching this and coming back and chatting with you guys today. So as always, I wish you all the very best, and I hope to come back and chat with you again and stitch with you again very soon and give you some more updates. So enjoy your stitching this weekend. Take care and God bless. And I'll see you soon.